Alright, now that you have all the bones retopologized, you need to lower them all down to their lowest form, just like this. So notice how nice and neat and organized all this is. I got bone 1 through 8, and I got a bunch of these nails and stuff like that that I need UVs for. The backboard already has UVs, so I'm choosing not to export that. And it believes it's bone 7, so I'm going to turn that off because actually it's up here. So all I want is this stuff. Now, what I'll do is go through here, hold Shift, and I'll unhighlight the board and then 7. And then I'll do an export selection, all bones, and just make sure I know where that's at on my desktop. Okay, also on my desktop is one of the newest Blender, so we're going to be using Blender to switch out those UVs. I downloaded the latest greatest build of Blender, and I'm just going to be using the defaults in Blender, that way it's not confusing to anybody. I'm slower at the defaults. I'm much faster at the Maya, and I'm very fast with the Blender 2.65 hotkeys that I built, but I don't want to share those out because it's such a pain to keep track of all the files. So, Blender default it is. So if I'm a little slow, that's okay. Just bear with me. Now X to delete. And I'll just file, import, wait for an object, desktop, something, bones. All bones. Okay, right click here and split area. Put that one over there. Right click or left click here. Go into UV image editor. It's middle mouse button, click and drag to rotate, and hold shift middle mouse button, click and drag to pan, and then zoom is just like this using the wheel mouse. 5 on the keyboard will get you out of perspective mode. Oops. 1 will go back to everything. So it has to be 5 on the number pad, by the way. If you accidentally hit 5 on the keyboard, hit 1 on the keyboard. What would essentially happen is you put it in a layer. Okay, so it works like this. I have to go through every one of these in object mode and then tab it into edit mode, and I have to mark out seams, and I'm going to put the seams in areas that can be hidden. In edit mode, I choose edge, and if I use Shift and Alt, it allows me to highlight all these. And what I'm just going to do is quickly go through here and mark seam. Now to check out if I have the seam or the seams correct, I hit L, U, unwrap. And I'll just go over here real quick to see if everything looks nicely unwrapped. Another thing you could do is hit tab one more time. Go to select, deselect, select all. You can do A on the keyboard too. And just go like this. New UV grid. And I'll use 2048 as a standard. Make sure you name it UV. And hit OK. And then N on the keyboard over here to choose to display textured solid. Okay, tab over here. Let's say I want to apply that. Well, I can go like this. UV. There it is. So if you're unfamiliar with these maps, it just shows the uniformity of the actual texture, and I'm looking for complete squares that range in the same size. In this case, look, I have a few on the front that are bigger than all the other ones there. And what that's going to do is it's going to make an area where there's not going to be a whole lot of detail compared to the rest. Okay, so what can I do to make that go away? You can hit L on the keyboard, it'll give you this. And in this area, this is where the problem is. I want this edge right here. Now, you could find that edge by using this tool. Clicking on the edge. Oops. It looks like this one right here. So I've cut that edge already, but what I'm going to do here is run that down and then mark the seam. There we go. So now, let's see, much better. Alright, I will do that for every mesh. And when I'm done, I'll meet you in the next video where I can show you how to lay out the entire thing. So for right now, just go through every mesh here, find seams. So it starts out just like this. Tab, edit mode, A to highlight orange, go in here, assign your UV image editor, then find a seam that you can be happy with. Just like that. Mark seam. And if you get a little overboard, you can do this. So let's say I need to clear these seams. Okay, you just highlight the edge. Just like that, and you just hit clear seam. Alright, so you see the workflow. It's long, it's arduous, but I tell you what, it's a lot better than Maya. You unwrap. I don't like how this turned out. It has too many meshes. So what I'll do here is highlight the edges here. Mark the seam, or clear the seam in this case. L, U, unwrap. Much better. Alright, continue to plug away and get them all checkerboarded, and meet me back in the next video.